ask you. So did Clemson or South Carolina even recruit you?
Clemson, yes. South Carolina, no.
So did you always have a little chip on your shoulder about that? Did you want to prove them wrong?
Of course, because my brother went to Clemson and my cousin went to Clemson, so I was thinking I was going to fall in that same road to go to Clemson, and me and my brother had the same frame, so I mean I don't understand what was the thing there, and then so it came down to my very last test score to be qualified to play at the next level, and once I made it, I called them, hey, I made the score. They said they didn't have no more scholarships. I called every college that had interest in me. Nobody had scholarships. Nobody wanted me, so I called South Carolina State. I asked them, hey, I made the score. What y'all got? They said we got you a partial scholarship. So I went up there on a partial scholarship, and the rest is history.
My God. So that's even worse. Both your brothers played at Clemson. God, that's Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I mean, every weekend I was in Clemson, so I just knew that was the only visit. I mean, the only camp that I went to was Clemson camp. And then luckily, on the way back from Clemson, I went through South Carolina. They had a camp, and I stopped there for like an hour. And then after that, that was it.
Oh my God. Isn't that an amazing story? So you go to the NFL, and nobody knows who you are. And then Darius Leonard, who's Darius? So how many practices did it take before the Colt players were coming up to you and like they knew your name, they knew who you were? Like how long before you're like, okay, I'm gonna be good? How long it take?
Oh well, I came in with a quad injury, so that first day of practice, I re-injured my quad. So I didn't do anything all OTAs. And you could tell the looks on these guys' faces like, wow, we just really drafted this guy. He's hurt. I don't know what he's going to bring to the table. And then the first day of training camp, I picked off Andrew Luck. And next thing you knew, everybody's coming up to me, congratulating me, talking about, hey, you're going to be pretty good. And that was it. And then the game that I really think that stood out to everybody was week 2 against the Washington Redskins, or the Washington football team now. And I ended with 19 tackles, 2 sacks, and that's when they were like, okay, now we realize who we have.
19 tackles in an NFL game. That is insane. So now, it's interesting. You had doubters, and now you have Carson Wentz. And Darius, he has doubters. How did Colt players look at a guy that was really good, and they really struggled? Because there are a lot of people out there right now that are like, man, you guys won a lot of games with Phillip Rivers. Is the team all in on Carson? How's it feel right now?
Are we all in? Everything, we trust and believe in everything Chris Ballard and Coach Frank and Jim Mercy doing all in the front office. And if you get brought into the Colts organization, that means that they believe in you. And if they believe in you, we believe in them, and we're going to stick behind you no matter what. And I do think, I played against Carson in 2018, his first game back from his injury, and he played very well on it when he came back. I haven't seen too much film after that, but he was actually a pretty good quarterback when we played him. So we know what talented he is. We know what type of leadership that he brings in. So we're definitely looking forward to it. And I just pray that he take every doubter, just like Phillip Rivers did. They doubted Phillip Rivers when he came to the Indianapolis Colts, and he proved them doubters wrong. So I hope that Carson Wentz can come in and prove every doubter wrong, and hopefully at the end of the season, when he's holding up that Lombardi Trophy, hopefully he can hopefully get some kind of good feedback instead of all this negative feedback that he's getting now in the media, which definitely sucks because he's been playing well. He's in the NFL, and everybody talk trash. He's playing at the highest level that he can possibly play at, and he gets so much criticism for being an NFL quarterback. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
By the way, Phillip Rivers, I'm not sure Phillip Rivers could outrun my microphone. He's an old man, and he came in last year, and Joy and I were sitting here, and we're like, this guy, we thought he should hang it up. Were you – I mean, he's not the most athletic guy. The first time you played with him, he doesn't run very well. He's got that crazy sidearm stuff. Were you kind of surprised how effective he was at his age?
Oh, well, the year before last, we played him in week 1. So I knew what he was capable of. And my brother played with him since my brother got drafted there in 2007. So I watched Phillip for a long time. And then when he got here, everybody was talking down about him, saying he wasn't this, saying he wasn't that. And then you see him in practice. and you see him in the games how he's taking over the whole offense. He's running it. He's talking trash, and he's such a competitor. And I don't think it surprised me because I believed in him since he came from San Diego. But, just having him, the only thing that surprised me was he retired. I really do think that Uncle Phil has some left in the tank, and that was the only surprise to me. But he's been playing well ever since I knew about him.
Yeah, you guys didn't have a preseason last year, obviously the pandemic, but it didn't hurt the team. The team played great. When you look back at the pandemic year and the changes you had to make, and now you're going to have OTAs, I would guess, and you're going to have camp. It's funny. I was never a huge fan of preseason football. I don't think Darius Leonard needs 4 warm-up games. I don't want to see you get hurt. Like, preseason to me is me crossing my fingers that star players don't get hurt. How valuable do you believe, Darius, because you didn't have preseason last year and you were good, this morning, do you think preseason is valuable in the NFL?
It's valuable for rookies. I would think so. Just because they're coming in and they're coming into a new system, and you would hate to see their first game going full speed is a real game that really counts, and they really in complete shock with the lights. So when it comes down to preseason games, I think for rookies, that's the best time for them to come. So now they're getting all the jitters out. Okay, now I'm in the NFL. I'm learning this new system. They're going to build them confidence. But I think that's about it, because when it comes down to the vets only play maybe 5 to 10 plays, and then we're standing on the sideline. So I just think it's good for the rookies to learn the system and learn exactly how fast the game changed from college to the NFL level.
You guys, I'm reading stories over the last week, Darius Leonard joining us from the Colts, as good as any linebacker in the NFL, I mean, simply put. 17-game schedule. I don't know. I don't like I don't like leagues when they get greedy. I feel like, God, you guys play them enough. I don't love the extra game, even though Joy and I benefit from it. More football is good for us. As a player in the NFL, what do you think about an extra game? Are you good, bad? You don't like it?
No, I don't like it at all. I mean, we're putting our body on the line for 16 weeks already. And then we're going to add another game that's 9 times out of 10 is not even a meaningful game. And you're putting everything at risk. So I personally don't like it. The other guys voted for it. I think the 16-game season was been good for 50 years now. So why change it now? So I honestly, I don't like it at all, unless they're gonna give us another bye week, because it's already a long season. So why add another game?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. All right, you have today. Darius Leonard announced the establishment of his Maniac Foundation. And you're obviously a guy that cares about your community. I know Chris Ballard, you're one of the good guys. So what's this foundation about? Tell me.
It's the Maniac Foundation. It's based off, just helping every family and kids in need. We have our three pillars that we definitely want to touch. Our first pillar is, helping families get food on the table for their families. The second pillar, we want to talk about kids, helping kids in the educational programs, try to initiate our first math maniacs, try to get them just enjoying doing schoolwork again, especially in the pandemic where you're sitting on the computer all day, you're not in the classroom, you're not around friends. And then the third one is, just helping them with their fitness. You want to get kids more active now because, a lot of video games and everything, everybody's inside. So we want to try to get kids to kind of get active again, making sure that they know that there's so many people that's out there that's going to help them on their way, and they're not alone. So just definitely trying to just find a way to get kids more involved, help families out that's in need, and just trying to be a lending hand to people in need.
By the way, this could be a dumb question, so don't make fun of me. But you hit hard. You hit hard. Are you 235, about 230? How much you weigh?
I probably finished the season probably around 215.
Ooh. You hit hard. If you ever hit a guy and you hear him wince, like after you hit a guy, you've sacked Ryan Tannehill a lot. When you hit Tannehill, can you just hear? Does he ever talk to you and say, "Can you slow down a little"?
No, because when I tackle quarterbacks, that now it's time to it's time to celebrate. It's time to it's time to have fun. So I don't even give them an opportunity to really say too much. I think the only person that I ever hit and he talked trash to me was the old man Frank Gore. Frank Gore talk trash the whole entire game, which makes the game so much fun. That's the only guy that I really feel like that talk trash when you hit him, because for him to be his age, he still runs the ball very, very well. He runs hard, he runs behind his pads, and so he has the right to talk trash whenever you do hit him, because he done accomplished so much in his career.
Can you imagine talking trash to Darius Leonard and you know he's going to tackle you? I would not recommend that for anybody. Hey, good luck to you and the Colts. You're a credit to the game. You're a good dude, and I love having you on again. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Can you imagine that? His brothers went to Clemson. He went to the camp. They called him up. Oh, we don't have any space for you.